Big news in sports science. Several studies in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research and the British Sports of Journal Medicine and the European Journal of Sports Science all point to one clear truth. Speed isn't random. It isn't luck. It's not you're either born fast or you're not. It's a system. And most athletes who train to those systems with science-backed precisions are the ones who actually keep getting faster. And in this video, I'm going to break down what science actually says about sprint speed, from how your brain and muscles all work together to how your body actually hits the ground to how recovery, posture, and strength all fit together. And I will give you specific steps that you can start doing today. My name is Lawrence Elo Johnson. I'm a professional sprinter, multiple-time NCAA All-American, former dual-sport D1 athlete, and I ran my first win-aided sub-10 performance in my career this year. And here's the proof behind what I teach. Every single athlete who I've trained on a one-on-one basis for at least 6 months has set a new PR in either one of our sprint testing metrics on the track or their actual event on the track. So speed doesn't lie, results don't lie. So let's dive into it. Number one is speed gains starts in the nervous system, not just the muscles. And this is where a lot of people already mess up. Most people think getting faster means just getting stronger legs. And that's only part of the truth. The real gains actually start in your nervous system, the electrical network that controls how fast your muscles fire. So early in training, most improvements in speed actually comes from what scientists call your neuromuscular adaptation. It's your brain learning how to send stronger and faster signals to your muscles. So instead of just lifting heavier, do this. Every rep in the gym must have explosive intent. So don't just move the weight. You need to attack the weight. You want to keep the reps low between 1 through 5 and rest long 3 to 5 minutes and chase speed and not fatigue. Then you want to use contrast work. So that's a heavy lift such as a trap bar deadlift and then a sprint drill or a jump right after. And what that does, it primes your nervous system to fire faster. And that's how you train your brain to turn strength into speed. And number 2 is that acceleration comes from projection, not just fast legs. And here's another big myth. Just move your legs faster. No, don't think that. Top sprinters don't just move their legs faster than average runners. They hit the ground harder and spend less time on the ground. So studies show that elite sprinters apply 4 to 5 times their body weight in force with ground contact times of around 0.08 seconds. And that's how you actually accelerate. So when you sprint, stop thinking about turning over and think about projection, because every step should drive your center of mass forward and not upwards. And here goes some drills that help build with projection. Number 1 will be wall drives and banded marches. Heavy sled pushes at 75 to 100% of your body weight, and then hill sprints at 10 to 30 meters. For your workout, right, you can do 3 to 5 accelerations of 20 to 30 meters and then rest 2 to 3 minutes rest between each one. And every rep should be max effort because this isn't conditioning, it's precision. So here goes the story. When I was in college, I thought I was strong. I squatted heavy, I cleaned heavy, and I could outlift most of my team. But my 30-meter times weren't moving. And then my coach filmed me. When we watched it, frame by frame, he said, "You're powerful vertically, but not horizontally." And every stride I took, I was bouncing up and not driving forward. I had strength, but I was leaking force. And once I started training projection, sled pushes, wall drills, and hill sprints, my times dropped almost instantly. And that's when I realized that speed isn't about strength, it's about direction. And number 3 is elastic stiffness. You know, this might be the secret to top end speed. When you hit your max velocity, your legs act like springs. The faster that spring recoils, the faster you move. And that's called elastic stiffness, your body's ability to store and release energy each step. And you can build it with drop jumps, pogo hops, and bounding, and other isometric holds like your calf isometrics or your mid-thigh pulls. You can do slow heavy RDLs or Nordic curls to also help strengthen the tendons, because your stiffness is your speed spring. So the stronger and the tighter that spring is the quicker your foot bounces off the ground. And number 4 is speed requires requires recovery. Not an endless grind, but speed isn't like endurance. You can't grind your way to faster times. Your nervous system needs time to rest in order to grow. So after a true max velocity session, you need 48 to 72 hours before doing it again. And that's not laziness, that's actual science. So never sprint when you're tired. Sleep 8 to 9 hours every single night and stay hydrated and keep electrolytes balanced. And most of the people probably won't even do that, and they're still going to wonder why they're plateauing. You also want to use tempo runs, 65 to 70% of your days, to build recovery fitness without frying your central nervous system. Because you don't get faster from what you do, you get faster from what you recover from. And number 5 is technical mastery, because the best sprinters in the world waste no motion. The technique isn't about looking smooth, it's about applying force into the ground in the right direction. And here's a simple breakdown. 0 to 30 meters is your acceleration, right? You want to drive forward, you want to keep your heels low, you want recovery low of those heels, and you want to stay patient with each actual application of force to the ground. 30 to 60 meters, you want to rise tall, you want to keep your hips up, and you want to push underneath your body. And 60 meters plus is your max velocity. You want to bounce off the ground, you want your high knees up, and you want posture in the upright position. You want to film yourself every 2 weeks, check your angles and your posture. So technology like MySprint or Dartfish can help give you feedback from your phone. So make sure you're using that. You can't fix what you don't see, and that's exactly why you need to have those apps on your phone. So this really changed everything as well. In 2022, I hit a wall in sprint training. I was strong, I was running fast in practices, but in races, I'd still fall apart after 60 meters. When I watched my film, right, my shin angles, it just was too upright, and my posture was folding at contact, and my ground contact time was way too long. So once I fixed that, which I only could know from watching film, my posture and my projection and my top speed shot up. And a few months later, my times continuously dropped until I eventually hit the next obstacle to overcome. But that moment actually changed everything in my career, because it proved that technical mastery isn't optional. It's a multiplier for everything else. And this is number 6, the strength power pyramid. You need to think of your development like a pyramid, and the base is the strength, and the middle is the power, and the top is speed. So if your base work is weak, the top will collapse. If you never reach the top, your base never gets expressed. Your year of training should follow like this. The off season is about building strength. That's squats, trap bar deadlifts, that's RDLs. And then preseason, this is when you transition to power. That's cleans, that's med ball throws, and that's also jump squats. And then in season, you need to focus on speed. So that's pure accelerations, that's pure max velocity. And even during competition, you want to keep 2 to 3 gym sessions a week to help maintain those strength levels, because speed is built from the ground up and not the other way around. Because consistency and load management is what actually leads to long-term speed. So here's something that most athletes don't realize, is that your speed ceiling is way higher than you even think. A 2023 study showed that sprinters can keep improving for 6 to 8 years if they train consistently with smart recovery and load management. So that means that you're nowhere near your limit. Like, you're not even close to your limit. And the key is simple. So 2 to 3 sprint exposures per week. Deload every 4 to 6 weeks and focus on quality and not fatigue. Because speed rewards those who actually stay consistent. So not those who go all out for 3 weeks and then quit. That's not going to be what gets rewarded in this game. So let's review what actually makes you faster. 1, you need to train your nervous system for explosive intent every single rep. Number 2 is you want to master projection. So push the ground back and not down. Number 3 is elastic stiffness. Treat your legs like loaded springs. And number 4 is respect recovery, because your CNS is your engine. And number 5 is you want to refine your technique. So that's posture, that's projection, and that's patience. And number 6, you want to stack strength and then transition that strength into power, and you want to transition that power into speed. And number 7 is stay consistent. Do these with intent and speed becomes predictable. Because at the end of the day, speed is science. It's not rhythm. And I know this because I lived it. From being a kid, chasing family records that felt like it was truly untouchable, to breaking through the walls and then eventually running sub 10 myself. And every athlete that uses these exact same principles in my one-on-one training group has set a new PR every single time, year after year. So if you're
you're ready to train like that and not guessing, but applying real systems, you can do that by joining my free community called Sprint University. And that's where I teach these systems weekly. That's when we break down new research, help sprinters like you build their own blueprint. If you found this video helpful, share it with somebody that needs to see this. And I'll leave you guys with this because I want all my dream protectors to remember this. Yesterday is already gone and tomorrow is not promised, but today is a gift. So make sure you go out there and you protect the dream. I'll see you guys in the next video.